CM Punk is reportedly telling people privately he is not going to be at WWE, and AEW has a new signing that's been confirmed, plus much more. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. All right, guys, on New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle, David Finlay, he's got people talking. That's because the IWGP US/UK Championship belts have been destroyed, and now the chairman of NJPW has come out at the press conference revealing that they will have a new championship belt coming soon. And it kind of got me thinking, for those who watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, obviously Will Ospreay, great champion, great athlete, likely gone from the company. This right here could kind of signify a massive change for the company after Wrestle Kingdom. And obviously, when it comes to a new championship belt, obviously, I think a lot of fans are always excited about that when a wrestling company reveals something new. But it got me thinking a little bit about New Japan, and more specifically its history, and more specifically a championship belt that we haven't seen in a long time, and that is the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, which I don't know if this is how we're going to get there, but if New Japan Pro Wrestling is using this angle as a way to introduce a new modernized version of the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, it would make a lot of sense. You know, I think one of the big things was the US Championship, UK Championship. You can change the flag all you want, but with New Japan Pro Wrestling having an expansion in North America, and then obviously going into the UK, and then obviously having their own, audience in Japan, it could make a lot more sense just having the Intercontinental Championship, and perhaps maybe with that design for that belt, they can incorporate multiple different flags. Obviously, that would make a lot of sense. What's really interesting to talk about, though, when talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling and their championship belts, is that often a lot of people complain that there are too many. However, while I understand that criticism, I would like to think that if you're just replacing this championship belt, it is not a big deal whatsoever. And I think that's obviously very important to note. I want to know, though, from you guys, in your perspective, if you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, are you a fan of them possibly bringing back the Intercontinental Championship, or would you like them to start something completely brand new? I think for me personally, it's got to be the Intercontinental Championship, maybe just a little bit more of a modernized version of what they had before. That's probably the direction that I would go with, especially if you can honor its previous legacy. But of course, let me know what you guys think. I love championship belts in pro wrestling. I love when companies are introducing new ones. It's always fun to look at and talk about. So I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion. Let's talk a little bit about our good friend CM Punk. Good friend CM Punk. I say good friend because the people love CM Punk, and CM Punk loves the people. But apparently, this guy is telling people privately he ain't coming back to WWE. And this is where it gets interesting. During the Backstage Report podcast, behind Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp have noted that CM Punk has privately denied any WWE talks to people close to him. This includes the rumored meeting that we spoke about the other day with board members and, of course, Survivor Series in Chicago. Sean says, I can tell you that CM Punk has told friends of his, close friends of his, that no, it is not accurate. No board meeting planned, not scheduled for Survivor Series. So obviously this got me thinking a lot about CM Punk. Don't want you guys thinking I'm telling you CM Punk is showing up. Please listen very carefully to what I am saying. Because as a fan of wrestling and as a fan of CM Punk, obviously I would prefer to have CM Punk on TV, regardless of the company. But this chaos surrounding CM Punk is the same amount of chaos that we saw surrounding Cody Rhodes. And this is not, please do not get this twisted. It is not Sean Ross and his fault. It's not Dave Meltzer and his fault. It's not PW Insider. It's not any sources that are talking about this. It's not their fault. If WWE is having CM Punk back on WWE television, you're going to see reports from people where sources tell them it is not happening. Because that's obviously a way to keep it a genuine surprise. If you see a scenario in which that it leaks out that CM Punk is in fact coming to WWE, then more than likely it's because WWE wants it out there. So again, I'm saying this very, very respectfully. please do not look at Sean, Dave, Mike, any of these people dropping news or scoops about CM Punk. Do not look at them and think that they are doing this intentionally or they are doing this to throw people off. They are just hearing things from what people have said. They have their sources, and obviously there is always a chance that CM Punk could come back to WWE. Of course. But at the same time, too, you cannot be disappointed in the fact if CM Punk does not show up to WWE, because WWE is not telling you at all that he's going to be there. At the end of the day, WWE has something very interesting going on here. And I think what they really need to do is, if they genuinely do not have plans for CM Punk to come back, I think they need to stop talking about CM Punk. Not talking, teasing CM Punk. I think that would be very important. But of course, everything's wait and see. And I think a lot of people are looking at Chicago Survivor Series as the perfect scenario, and obviously it makes a lot of sense. But just because it doesn't happen at Survivor Series doesn't mean it can't happen at the Royal Rumble. Doesn't mean that it can't happen at Elimination Chamber. Doesn't mean that it can't happen at WrestleMania. Can a deal get done? Yeah, it's possible. And we'll see how it all goes down. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think. A new AEW signing has been confirmed. This individual right here goes by the name of Megan Bayne. And it looks like she's been signed to AEW for several months. At least according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, they reported that AEW secured Megan Bayne, who is 25 years old. Pretty well known in the indie scene. And she's actually been signed to AEW for a couple months now. She hasn't been seen on AEW television for a while, but it sounds like AEW took a little bit of a different approach here, because it appears that AEW has actually had her go to Tokyo Joshi Pro several months ago to get better, which means that AEW recognizes her potential. They signed her months ago, and then they sent her to TJPW in hopes of getting her developed. And I think that's actually a pretty sick-ass strategy. If you're not going to have a developmental program of your own, have them go to a company you're friends with and get them the experience that you need. Should be interesting to see how Megan Bayne fits in AEW. Right now, a lot of the talk about women's wrestling seems to be in the WWE because of the rumors about Julia. Now people are even insinuating that maybe Sasha Banks could go back to WWE. There's a lot of craziness surrounding WWE. Obviously, they just signed Jade Cargill, so it makes a lot of sense that a lot of the talk is pictured and circulating around WWE. But don't forget, AEW could do something really good here, especially if she does get developed and she does do great things. That could be a big win for AEW. And it's actually pretty shocking to hear that her signing has been kept quiet. You might have seen her on AEW Dark in like 2020 or 2021. There's a good chance you could be seeing her on AEW Dynamite in the coming months. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today.